The Turkish political scene today is marked by a strange paralysis. Everyone knows that the era of Recep Tayyip Erdoğan must one day come to an end, but no one can clearly see when or how the transition will take place, nor who will emerge as his successor. For nearly a quarter of a century, Erdoğan has been the gravitational center of the state, and the edifice he has built risks collapsing or fracturing once he is no longer at the helm. This tension was suddenly illuminated by an apparently accidental moment. A Turkish journalist, Hüseyin Güney, was caught on a hot mic, remarking that Turkey had gained nothing from Erdogan's recent meeting in Washington, and, more importantly, that there were already open rivalries inside the ruling camp. His comments pointed to a triangle of power: Foreign Minister Hakan Fidan, the president's son Bilal Erdoğan, and his son-in-law Selçuk Bayraktar. The implication was that these three figures are each vying for influence, and perhaps positioning themselves to inherit the leadership of the country once Erdoğan leaves the stage. Each man represents a different dimension of Turkey's future. Hakan Fidan, long head of the intelligence service and now foreign minister, is the technocrat, the figure of continuity. He embodies the state apparatus itself, the security structures and the international networks that guarantee Turkey's stability. His strength is institutional knowledge, his weakness a lack of popular legitimacy. Bilal Erdoğan, the president's son, is the symbol of dynastic succession. His claim rests on blood and heritage, and he has been active in foundations and organizations designed to build political capital. Yet he is also regarded with skepticism, even inside the ruling party, because he has not yet demonstrated an independent political base of his own. Selçuk Bayraktar, finally, is the face of a new narrative. As the engineer behind Baker's drones, he personifies Turkey's ambition to become a technological and military power. He inspires enthusiasm among younger voters and among the religious conservative base, who see him as both innovative and authentically Turkish. Still, his political experience is minimal, and the bureaucracy often views him with suspicion. This competition cannot be understood without recalling the deeper ideological struggle that defines modern Turkish politics. Since the founding of the republic, a secular, Kemalist tradition has sought to safeguard the state, the army, and a Western-oriented identity, while political Islam, which Erdoğan and the AKP embody, has worked to assert a religious dimension in public life and to weaken the dominance of the secular bureaucracy. After the failed coup of 2016 and the sweeping purges that followed, the balance tilted heavily in favor of the Islamist conservative camp. Yet the shadow of Kemalism still hangs over the state institutions, and many within the elite remain anxious about the possibility of a purely dynastic or religious succession. In this context, the triangle of Fidan, Bilal, and Bayraktar represents not just three individuals, but three pathways for Turkey. One pathway is technocratic continuity, a figure like Fidan taking over to reassure the state and foreign partners that the system will remain stable. Another is dynastic inheritance, Bilal stepping forward as the biological heir of Erdoğan, carrying the family legacy into the future. The third is a hybrid of religion and technology, Bayraktar leveraging his symbolic role in Turkey's drone program to embody a techno-Islamic modernity, projecting both continuity with Erdogan's worldview and innovation for a younger generation. The incident with the journalist was treated by the government as a dangerous breach, which is why Güney was swiftly dismissed. The very fact that a casual remark could provoke such a strong reaction reveals how sensitive the subject of succession is. To speak of what comes after Erdoğan is, in a sense, to undermine Erdoğan himself while he still rules. But the silence is deceptive. Everyone within the system is already calculating, maneuvering, and forming alliances for the inevitable day when power must pass on. The broader political question is how this competition connects to Turkey's identity struggle. Will the next leader consolidate the Islamist turn, continuing Erdogan's project of embedding religion into the state? Or will there be a partial return to the technocratic and secular traditions of the Kemalist order? Bayraktar's rise illustrates the possibility of a synthesis, an Islamist narrative that clothes itself in the legitimacy of high technology and military prowess. Fidan's appeal lies in anchoring Turkey back in the discipline of its institutions, while Bilal's candidacy would symbolize the persistence of Erdoganism as a family dynasty. Three scenarios can be imagined. In the first, Erdoğan himself blesses Fidan as a successor, allowing a managed transition toward continuity. In the second, the family insists on Bilal, risking division within the party and resentment in the electorate. In the third, Bayraktar succeeds in converting his symbolic authority into political capital, presenting himself as the modern, innovative, yet religiously authentic leader for a new generation. Whatever the outcome, Turkey has already entered the pre-succession era. The country's future will depend not only on which of these men prevails, but on how the balance between secularism and Islamism, between the state bureaucracy and the religious conservative networks, is renegotiated. The journalist's open mic moment did not create this struggle, it merely exposed it to public view. And in so doing, it reminded the world that the question of who comes after Erdoğan is not just about succession. It is about the very identity of Turkey for decades to come.
Stay informed, stay briefed. Subscribe for more world news in 3 minutes.